What up, family? It's your favorite thumb with eyebrows, and I had a question. I had a thought. Have you ever thought about what your zodiac sign would smell like if it was bottled up? I'm talking energy, personality, how you move through the room. So today, what I thought, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and match up each sign with a fragrance from my collection. Yes, from my own collection, nothing random. So we're gonna go with the scents that make sense. Let's get into it. Welcome back, family, and thank you for staying locked. You know, we always gotta go through the housekeeping, and y'all know what the housekeeping is. We gotta make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the content so that way we can continue to grow the Kool Rich family. Nevertheless, the first one on the board is an Aries. Yeah, it's around that point in time, so I definitely want to stick on that zodiac sign. And that is consistent with this fragrance right here, and that is the Dior Sauvage Elixir. I'm talking unapologetic, assertive, and an alpha. You feel me? So this is very smooth, very bold, very fearless, very competitive. It's a wonderful smelling fragrance, but I think it's very assertive and very consistent with how an Aries acts. You know, more dominant. They have that dominant, bold energy when it comes to an Aries. And that's exactly what an elixir is in the bottle. So shout out to one of my best friends, Smurf. Kenneth Jabbar Barnes, lost him back in 2009, and bro was definitely bold, assertive, fearless, the whole 9 yards. And this, I would say, describes bro to a T. So Dior Sauvage Elixir, shout out to them. Now this next one we're going to go with is Taurus. Taurus, one of my female friends, one of my female best friends. She is a Taurus and stuff, but we're going to go with the male version of the scent factors. And that is emblematic of the Parfums de Marly Pegasus fragrance line. This fragrance is pretty much consistent with how a Taurus acts, a male Taurus, which is grounded, more so luxurious, and pretty much steady. They are very consistent if you know how male Tauruses act. And they usually try to go for the best of the best, but they're chill but not basic. They're not overzealous. Some of them can be crazy. They very much can be crazy. I've met a few good ones that are crazy, but for the most part, they are very much chill. And that's what I've seen as far as this. It's just more so like comfort quality, being able to relax and enjoy the time being. And this is pretty much what I think with this fragrance is that it's very cool, calming, relaxing, chill. Has that vanilla with the almond sweetness to it, but then also has that amberness as well. So it's a very creamy, smooth type of fragrance, and I think that's what a lot of male Tauruses get when ladies or even just people in general deal with male Tauruses. They usually think that they're more so cool and smooth. So I can understand that, and that's why I want to give this fragrance to the Taurus. Now this next one is the best one. Yes, this is what I am, and that is a Gemini. And you know what the perfect springtime fragrance that represents the Gemini is? For me, my own take, in my collection, will be this Bond number 9 Bleecker Street. And yes, that mug is smooth. They call this Prince in a bottle. But this mug is smooth, man. You talking about that green and purple contrast, the gold and everything. That's a very, very nice display. But on top of that, very playful, very dynamic, very unexpected. And that's what a Gemini has come to be known as. So people will even say, I'm very playful. I'm dynamic and very unexpected, because that's just pretty much how it is, especially during this point in time of the year. Very fresh, very fruity when it comes to the scent factor, but a very herbal. It's not like a overly sweet type of fruitness. It's more like a chill, like citrusy factor of it, you know? And it's like a smooth shapeshifter type of situation, because it has that woody type of amber base in it. Then it has that essence of the green. Like it has a heavy, clean greeniness, right? But it's bright and it's exciting. So it makes it very enjoyable, which is pretty much what a Gemini is. Gemini is, very exciting. We're very delightful, very unexpected. We're very charismatic. We're very intriguing for the most part. But yeah, man, Geminis are the best. We are the best, and so is this bottle. You know what I'm saying? You talking about upscale without warning. Okay? It's just natural. Being upscale and being smooth with the charisma is just natural to us. Alright, so we can flip from casual to being on that type of time, just depending on how you go. But we're extremely versatile, and that's what I like about this bottle right here. So yes, I spent the most time to talk about my own Zodiac sign. Shout out to my Geminis. So this one is going to be a little different than what you probably was expecting to come for a Cancer. For the Cancers, I look at them as more like deep, more comforting, more nostalgic. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much like the characteristics of what I would usually give for a Cancer. And if I was thinking about something that was in my collection that was emblematic of that, it's this fragrance right here, and that is Maison Margiela Replica by the Fireplace. This fragrance is smoky. Smells like burning wood. Now you going on, it definitely smells like you're burning wood. But it's very smooth. It smells like Christmas time. It smells like you're like emotionally in tune with yourself. That's pretty much what this smells like. It's like very, very warm, very understanding. Like they value intimacy. Let's put it that way. It's like this real warm, like smoky sweetness that comes about when you spray this fragrance. Like I said, it gives that by the fireplace type of vibe, but at the same time, it's a very warm, sweet, very sensual. It's very sensual. So it feels like a memory. It's like that slow burn that hits in the heart. And if you're talking about a fragrance that's like that, and I'm talking about somebody that's a little bit more deep, a little bit more intimate when it comes to how they deal with people or how they deal with their relationships, I think that this fragrance definitely speaks volumes on a Cancer. So I'm gonna give that one to the Cancers. Now, when you're talking about a fragrance that wants to own the room without asking, and you're talking about a sign, a Zodiac sign that wants to own the room without asking, we already know where we're going with this. Of course, we're talking about the Leos. So what fragrance is consistent with how a Leo acts? And that is the Jean Paul Gaultier Ultra Male. Yeah, we're talking about very charismatic, bold, and extremely flashy. Leo energy is all eyes on me. I mean, come on now. We already know it. It just is. But, and I've sprayed this tester, but I'm going to respray it again. Just to that fresh, sweet pear and that spicy cinnamon. Because it smells so wonderful. But it effortlessly takes over the room without having to try. So it's loud, it's juicy, it's designed to get attention, and that's pretty much how Leo acts. So Leo acts loud, boisterous, and they try to get attention without sometimes trying to get attention. It's just their personality trait. So going based upon their personality trait and getting a fragrance that matches that, this one is consistent with that. Shout out to the Leos. One main character to another, I can't blame them. Now, if we're talking about one sign that's clean, smart, with no nonsense, or we talking about them Virgos. And a fragrance that I would say is emblematic of a Virgo, Prada Luna Rosa Carbon. This fragrance right here is very smooth, it's crisp. It has this like metallic freshness to it, but then it's ultra reliable. It's one of the best fragrances that you can get if you're trying to have something that's very clean, very sophisticated, very just gets the job done without you having to, be overzealous. No drama, just straight cleanliness. It smells like, it smells beautiful. I'm gonna just be real. It just smells very smooth, just sophisticated, like just straight sophistication. But nevertheless, this is more of like a Virgo because it's crisp. I like the crispness of it. It's very goal oriented and driven, kind of like how a Virgo would be. On top of that, is polished. That's why I'm like, the quality here is very high, because oh my god, there's no reason that this smells this good. But like I said, it's crisp. It's a beautiful fragrance for that time period, and I would definitely say this is a great representation of what a Virgo is. Sometimes you wanna go while everybody knows your name. And his fragrance is the same. And that's exactly how this next sign operates. Not even lying. A Libra. A Libra definitely operates just like how I would think the Blue Day Chanel would operate. And that is very charming, very balanced, and very social. Of course it will be social. I mean, this Blue Day Chanel is the blue fragrance that actually started it all off. This is the creme de la creme, the inception, the godfather of all blue fragrances. But this is pretty much for someone who just never feels out of place. Libras don't feel out of place because they're pretty much like very cool, chill, charming. Like, you know, so because they're so like diplomatic and everything. If you know most Libras, they're relaxed. They're more relaxed. But it's just like a fresh, warm, refined, very inviting type of fragrance. And that's how a Libra acts. Libras act very warm, very inviting, very cool, very charming, very relaxed. And that's kind of like how this is. Very, very consistent, where they have that. You ever had that one friend that's just friends with everybody? Like they cool with everybody. I don't know how, I don't know why, but all these people can be beefing. But for some odd reason, the common denominator as far as cool with everybody is this person. That's this fragrance. That's this fragrance right here. Shout out to the Libras. There's three zodiac signs that have main character energy. First one I would say is Geminis. Second, Leos. The third one, the one that gets on my nerves, Scorpios. Yeah, Scorpios. So I thought this fragrance would be representative for the Scorpios, and that is Parfums de Marly Carlisle. A very intense, mysterious, and alluring type of fragrance. This is actually one of my favorite fragrances from Parfums de Marly. You see this beautiful bottle, black. The Scorpios, they give that quiet but powerful type of vibe. You know, they don't really like try to overdo it, or but Carlisle is dark apple, spicy warmth, sensual woods. It has this sophisticated depth of without a loud voice. I love that green apple in this. You smell this like hours later, and that's pretty much how a Scorpio is with you. They have a lingering effect. Why, I do not know. I despise of that, but it is very true. They have a very infectious type of personality trait, and it lingers. It makes you want to be around them. It's kind of like how Geminis are. It's kind of like how Leos are. We just have this infectious personality trait where we're bold, but it makes you want to be around Scorpios and stuff like that. Wow, you can't be around them long, because it's like, bro, Scorpios are dangerous. Mess with them with caution. You have been warned. Shout out to the Scorpios. Alright, now this one is pretty much the coolest one to me. And I'm going to say it's the Sagittarius. The Sagittarius, shout out to them. And I'm going to go with Coach for Men for them. Just because of the energy that they bring. They're upbeat, free-spirited, spontaneous. They're always on the go, always cheering for somebody or something new. And that's how I think Coach is. Coach is fresh, it's energetic, and it's easy to wear. You can wear this pretty much everywhere. It's very versatile. You could even wear this in the office. It's literally that type of versatility. And it smells like movement and possibilities. That's what I love about it. It smells like you are doing something or going somewhere. And that's what a Sag does. Sag is very upbeat, very high energy, very like, let's do it, let's have it. You know, they're very supportive, very upbeat. So I love that this fragrance is representative of the Sagittarius, is because I think that this is emblematic of their personality traits from what you can say the Zodiac signs are for them. So, hey man, shout out to the Sagittariuses. This one is for y'all. Coach for Men. This next one I had to. I just thought it definitely matched, but this is one of my favorite fragrances, and I thought that this would be consistent with that personality trait of a Capricorn. So, what we have is Acqua di Gio Profundo. Yes, like Profundo from what I give in Capricorn. What did I say? Capricorn. I said Capricorn. A Capricorn is strategic, grounded, and they're more like calm power. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to do too much to be able to show themselves. So Capricorns, for the most part, they don't chase hype. That's what I like about them. They don't pretty much chase the hype. They make the hype, and they set the standard. And that's what I like about this fragrance right here. This fragrance is more so a focused, reserved type of 10 steps ahead type of fragrance. It's just very deep and aquatic vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like that blue notes, the freshness, the coolness, its controlled presence is just very sophisticated, but it's very controlled. It's very debonair, if I was to say. Is really, that will be the perfect way. It's like mature without doing the most. That's one of the best ways that I can put it. This fragrance right here, Acqua di Gio Profundo. This is why you see that this has such a dent in the bottle. Plus, I heard that they may be discontinuing this. So I just thought that this would be the best illustration if we were talking about a perfume or a perfume, cologne, whatever the case may be, that represents a Capricorn. Shout out to the Capricorns. So if you're thinking about how an Aquarius will operate and move, they are more forward thinking. They are not conforming. Somewhat can seem a little detached. Some can be a little more eccentric. But, you know, they're pretty much, you know, some smart individuals, very intelligent. The crazy thing is, I think that this fragrance right here, which is Bon Amanant Chez Bon, is very emblematic of what an Aquarius would act like. The reason I say that opposed to an aquatic fragrance is because an aquatic fragrance is very conforming. That's why I have at least 4 or 5 of them right here. You got Parfums de Marly, Pegasus, you have Michael Malone, Visionaire, you have Bleu de Chanel, you have Dior Sauvage, you have Dior Sauvage Elixir, you got there's a bunch of different blue type of fragrances. So just a lot of conforming blue fragrances. This fragrance here is not conforming. This is a very smooth, very green, but very elegant type of fragrance. You usually don't see something this elegant with this much green and it still be considered a freshie. This one is very much still a freshie, but it's not your typical freshie. This is a very nice, different, smooth, green and crisp, but still elegant type of freshie. And that level of non-conforming activity, because that's what you usually would say for the foundation of a green fragrance. You want something that's green, you want something that's crisp, you want something that's fresh, you want something that's consistent, continuous, right? But you don't want something that's going to let me change this up because some people may not be open to those green notes type of situation. So I think that an Aquarius operates more on the Chez Bon side because is non-conforming. Non-conforming. And neither do Aquarius. Aquarius is not going to conform to how you operate or what you think. Trust me, I know. Now this next one, which is the last one. Pisces. Come to the front of the congregation, please. Because we have a fragrance for you. And that fragrance is Versace Dylan Blue. Yes, I love this fragrance. This one is a timeless classic. Very dreamy. Very, very, very dreamy. Very expressive. Very intuitive. I'm telling you, this fragrance is very seductive. It has that type of lingering effect on you. Very smooth. But Pisces pretty much flows like, they flow with their feelings, you know? So, and I get it because, you know, Dylan Blue is an aquatic type of vibe, which is consistent, like Pisces. And even though we usually try to stay away from the blues and all that stuff like that, I did think that this one was actually a little bit more consistent with how a Pisces operates, because the Dylan Blue has a slight woodiness to it. So with that slight woodiness, it's somewhat like how a Pisces is, because they're soft-spoken a lot of times, but they leave a lingering effect. It's the kind of scent that people lean in for, you know, like that type of situation. And it's kind of like how Pisces are, because of their calm, smooth demeanor, and them being so intuitive and also being so expressive, but at the same time dreamy. It works. It just works. Just like this. It just works. So, Pisces, you will be finishing off this list with Versace Dylan Blue. Shout out to y'all. But hey man, I appreciate y'all for tapping in and tuning in for another legendary video. You know we always got to make sure that we do the housekeeping of like, sharing, and subscribing to the content, because we got to continue to grow the Kool Rich family. But I appreciate y'all for stopping in for, you know, the Zodiac signs that matched up with the fragrances that I had in my collection. I thought that was pretty cool, because I ain't gonna say I think Zodiacs are okay. I just think that sometimes people go a little too overzealous with it. Like, if that's one of your first questions that you ask somebody, you might need to chill. But, you know, like, oh, what's your Zodiac sign? Like, no. Because even though all of this is just, it's the thought and it's a perspective, it's still not emblematic of all people that's born up in that time period, or even a majority. It's just something that people like to put together and say, hey, this is y'all personality trait around that time of year that you were born. So, hey, if that's what they like to say, that's just what they like to say. But I just wanted to let you know what I thought the best Zodiac signs would line up with the fragrances that I have in my collection. So I appreciate y'all. I hope that y'all enjoyed this. I hope that y'all gained a lot of stuff. Y'all let me know in the comment section, what would y'all have listed as far as your Zodiac signs and the fragrances to go with those Zodiac signs? Did you think I messed up on any of them? Did you think I got it completely right? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you on the next one. Stay cool, stay rich, and stay blessed out here, y'all. Peace.